What's going on, guys? Today is mission 10, strike over Tinian. So we are going to be loading up. We've got several strike packages that are going to be hitting Tinian Island, pushing back the Chinese and destroying their infrastructure. Today I am flying as Uzi 2-1. They need to qualify some other flight leads, so I'm going to fly as 2-1. But 1-1 and 2-1, our mission is the same, so we are going to be flying out. And we are going to be hitting a fuel depot on the north side of the airport. And so let's go ahead and get started. It is a night mission, but let's go ahead and get started, and we'll have some. I'll have some commentary about the mission on the way in.
Chief, how copy? Loud and clear. Beautiful night, isn't it? Yeah, it's lovely. We're all good. All good. All check. I have line here to some pins. We're ready. Chief, ready to start? Clear for start. Clear front. Clear aft.
All right, get starter engaged. Now I recognize that it is dark, probably impossible for y'all to see anything I'm doing right now, but I promise here shortly, when the plane starts up, all the lights will come on, and you will see that I have just followed my standard startup routine. Nothing exciting.
All clear for
Field taxi when ready, runway 24 left. Using Bravo, left on Kilo, number 1 for takeoff.
left on Bravo, left on Kilo, left 24 left, number 1 for takeoff. Tower 4 check.
4, taxi when ready, follow the Hornets, 24 left. Left on Bravo, left on Kilo, 5 seconds separation.
Takeoff Charles clear. Andersen Tower, Uzi 1-1 with flight
Uzi Flight cleared to taxi on 24 left on Bravo, left on Kilo, follow the strike eagles as they pull out.
Check.
Roger.
Nose
Left
out.
on Bravo.
Check.
Left on Kilo. Following the mudheads.
All good.
Uzi
Bring it back
1-1.
code 1, please. Good luck. Contact ground after INS is up. Thanks, Chief. I'll do my best.
Man, there's a lot of conversation happening all at once.
Tower, Dodge taxi clearance.
Dodge, taxi when ready, 24 left, follow the Vipers, right on Kilo, left on Bravo, 5 seconds separation.
24 left after the Vipers, right on Bravo, left on Kilo, 5 seconds, Dodge flight.
All right, so we do have the ECM pod underneath. We've got two 370-gallon tanks. We're carrying 4 GBU-12s, an AIM-9, and an AIM-120 on both wings. So today we do have a fairly full loadout. I think today's waypoints are 27,000 feet. We will be taking direction from Uzi 1-1 as the flight lead. Like I said, we are needing to qualify other flight leads, so today I'm just flying behind. INS is aligned. Let's go ahead and get everything situated. And we are now ready to taxi. Got our good old night vision. I'm not sure how much we'll need that tonight. Hopefully not at all. But in the event we need it, it is loaded and ready to rock. So we are just waiting for our lead to tell us she is ready to go. In the meantime, we will go to to the laser and set that to 30 seconds time on target. Now we are all set up for this flight. All right. Well, I assume she's got to be about ready. And we are just waiting for traffic
Uzi
to...
Flight, taxi.
Yep. I was going to say, waiting for traffic to clear. All right. So steer point 1 is about 40 miles after we take off. We will climb and maintain 2 Angels 27. And then realistically, Uzi 11 should be the primary attack on the fuel depot, and we will be secondary. We will go ahead and queue up, make sure we've got our targeting pod activated and on target, just to make sure that we are able to deliver bombs if needed, or as needed. But Uzi 11 should have primary on that, so... Once we get up to steer point 1, somewhere between steer point 1 and 2, we'll probably go ahead and get our targeting pod all set up. And ready to unleash the fire. We're gonna make it rain. Go ahead and put about 40 feet of separation between them. So I was setting up the GBU 12s to ripple, to fall as a pair, not to ripple, but to drop as a pair, and then putting 40 feet of separation between them, just to make sure that we hammer the fuel depot. So I do think there is a flight behind the Vipers, or I thought there was. But there is quite a bit of traffic on takeoff here, so... As you can see, she's got the same loadout. Carrying the 4 bombs, the 4 missiles, the 2 wing tanks, and then the ECM underneath. You know, it's interesting. I have not heard a single call out from any of the flights as they are taking up. Well, I mean, okay, so there's my own flight. But none of the other flights on frequency. Airspeed's alive. Positive rate, gear coming up. Out of burner, because we don't need it for this climb. Roll right. And as fragged. Might have been a little turbulence there. Alright, so up 27,000 feet at Steerpoint 1.
1211, switch to Dark Star Channel 3 on uniform. Push. 1211, check on Channel 3 uniform.
5x5.
Uzi 11 with Uzi 12 with you.
Uzi Flight, radar identified. Continue.
Alright, so there is 11,000 as we continue our climb. We're about 30 miles out of Steerpoint 1. And then it's another 43 miles to Steerpoint 2. And then 8 to Steerpoint 3, which is the target location. Or ingress on target. And all that is looking like we're going to be doing that at Angels 27, so we'll just continue this climb. we do not have a cap flight on this, so if anything were to pop up, we would need to shoot it down ourselves, which is something to think about. So I'm going to put it in burner just a bit. We are quite heavy, and so in order to climb 27, maintain speed, and not fall behind the group, we're going to have to use a little fuel. Even still, we are pushing, we're still climbing at about 3,000 feet a minute, 275 knots, 20,000 feet.
Infield, check. Dodge here. Forward. Uzi.
But we are falling just a little bit behind. Now I am going to beat my lead to 27,000 feet, but she's going to be at steer point 1 in advance of me by about 4 miles.
Uzi Flight. Go ahead. Jane. Mission is Jane for Uzi.
Jane for Uzi.
Jane.
Alright, we are 1 minute from steer point 1. We're about 9 miles.
You settled? Roger. I'm settled. Copy that.
Alright, we are 1 mile from steer point 2. Switching to steer point 2. Or, we were 1 mile from steer point 1, switching to steer point 2. Got Uzi 1 dead ahead.
Enfield Ford, Darkstar. Mission is Jane. Ford, copy. Enfield, Jane, copy.
Okay, so she's about 2.5 miles out in front of me. Got about 36 miles to steer point 2. to overfly Uzi 1-1. .260 is where she's flying. Alright, that'll work for now. So, we're about 15 miles out. I am going to go ahead and set up my targeting pod. I don't know what she's doing, but...
Uzi fits in.
Pretty sure this is the depot. We just need to make sure. Alright, so I am going to have to Here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to make a U-turn. I'm going to have to overfly this.
Or Vincent.
And then make a U-turn to come back, because it took a minute to get the targeting pod set up, and by the time I did, my lead was having issues, and I got mine set up, but I was overflying it at the time. As you can see, it is currently blinking for me to release from here. So I am going to turn, going to power up, because this is going to burn a bunch of energy making this U-turn. Alright, we're coming around. Alright. We are on center. Bomb drop is coming. Bombs away.
Bombs away.
Man, that's going to be a big boom. Alright, so we are 22 seconds from hit, from impact. Give or take. Lasers armed. Here comes the boom. Two, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we absolutely decimated that fuel depot. Oh man, look at that. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That felt good.
Yes, the depot has been hit. Pontiac confirms multiple secondaries. Sierra Hotel. Sierra Hotel, Uzi 1-1. Uzi Darkstar, good show. RTB.
Oh yeah. We just smashed that depot. I mean, that was... There's no coming back from that depot. Will never be rebuilt. That was awesome. Those GVU-12s were like, we see you. Thought you were hot, huh? Okay, well, let me tell you what you're not. Golly, we're still getting messages of destruction. That was solid. All right, so we are just headed back to base now. We got about an 80-mile flight ahead of us. Showing about 7.5 minutes back. That was a solid strike right there. It didn't get much better. Can't wait to go see the battle damage assessment. All right. So we will, here in about 15 miles, we'll go ahead and reach out to ATC, let them know we're inbound and get our clearance to land. Oh, perfect. Mission complete banner up there. As if we didn't know we had destroyed that depot. That was a huge explosion, and then that secondary explosion was cool as well. It was unfortunate we had to make that second pass. I should have had the T-pods. I was really jacking around is what the problem was. I was trying to perfect where I wanted those bombs to land. And with the GBU-12, as long as you put it near the spot, I mean, in the general vicinity of the place you want it to land, it's going to do what you want it to do. I should have just trusted the process, but instead I overflew it, came back, and set myself up to bomb it, watch it, and fly home all in the same direction. So, you know, while it wasn't as fragged, it worked out quite nicely. Alright, so we're about 5 minutes out from the Air Force Base, from Andersen. Once we get to about 40 miles, I'll queue up ATC and ask them for some directions. My guess is going to be somewhere near 190 for some number of miles. So I'm going to go ahead and load that in, and then we'll adjust as needed. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that at 40 miles, which is coming up. Really? Should we go? I know we've been cleared RTB. We're sitting at just under 7,000 pounds of fuel. we'll hang back here for a minute. We'll let the others go ahead and get to the Air Force Base. That's who we're watching right there. If he swings hot, I'm going to engage him. And we have the hardware to do it. But he actually looks like he has changed his mind. Because I will happily delete him. I was getting ready to turn around, and then he went hot on my... Seems like this would be a bad day for him if he makes this decision. Let me know what you want to do, guy. Got 390 knots closure. Does look like he's moving away from me. I am not going to chase him all the way back, though. That's not going to happen. Alright, so he has bailed out. Whether he landed, went somewhere else, I don't know or care, to be honest with you. So we are going to pull this U-turn. But like I said earlier, in the flight, we don't have cap. So it is on us to make sure that our assets are safe. And so from that perspective, just wanted to make sure we were good to go. Since that guy's bailed out. We will RTB as instructed, or as expected. Now, we did put some miles back the other direction. We're still doing fine on fuel, so I am actually burning quite a bit in Afterburner. So let's get home, get on the ground, and check out our results. So we are up over Mach 1. That was not necessarily my intention. I was thinking like just shy of Mach 1. Like here. So we are subsonic, trying to save people's windows, but only just. So we're about 4.5 minutes out. Again, once we hit, okay. Once we hit that 40 mile mark, we'll go ahead and check in with the ATC. By then, I would think most of our assets should be on the ground by the time I get to the airport, to the airfield. That airplane was a whole lot closer to me than I thought it was.
Uzi 2 inbound.
Okay. 192 for 30. Gonna go ahead and pull back on the throttles again. I don't want to be over Mach 1. Alright, so we're about 20 miles out now. 20 miles out. We are still moving quite quickly, but here momentarily we will slow down a bit, because we are moving quite quickly, but slower in terms of Mach numbers, so. It's funny how that works. About 15 minutes out now. That's where we're headed. So I'm going to go ahead and pull back on the throttles. Gosh, we are still accelerating. I'm going to pull back on the throttles some more. Okay, and there is the runway and the lights. So I am going to go ahead and turn inbound. We do have some traffic. Really? Okay, well, despite being cleared direct, because we've been trying to maintain some semblance of the actual procedures, we are going to overfly. Perfect. So we've got 1,500 feet of separation over the runway. So that should be about the midpoint. So we are going to go ahead and rotate left. We are rolling left. I don't know why I said rotate. We are rolling left. Then we are going to go ahead and roll out here. Alright, I've gone ahead and deployed the speed brakes. We are beyond the threshold of the runway. Okay. Gear is coming down. And we will roll out on runway heading. Got 225 knots. We are on glide slope. We're a touch under at this point. We'll cleared for visual. Okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did land a long way on the right side because it did seem that the runway was occupied. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't crash into somebody to end this mission, which would have been just a disaster. And as you can see right there in front of me, there were two jets on the runway. So it's interesting because on my first pass, they actually told me to go around because it was occupied. And on the second pass, they actually cleared me in, despite the fact that it was occupied. So kind of an interesting setup there, but no big deal. We made it. We landed. We slowed down. We actually turned off a taxiway early, so maybe having somebody on the runway was a good thing. I don't know. But either way, we are going to taxi back to our parking space, which for this mission actually started out on the opposite side of taxiway Bravo. And then we'll get it all shut down and packed up, and we'll move on to the next mission. So that is an F-18 Hornet in front of me, and actually it's doubles. There are 2 Hornets in front of me. Alright. I'll try not to stab them with the tip of that missile. That's pretty crazy. So we'll go ahead and set the parking brake. And we're gonna shut the engine down, so go and get the canopy coming up. Alright, we are back at base. Feeling successful. Let's see how we did. Alright, 33 total vehicles and 1 air defense was destroyed during this mission. How many of those was I responsible for? 26. That is not too bad. Yeah, no, not too bad at all. So feel like that was a good success. Result is 100, so our final score is 100. We got 94 points while on the mission from destroying all the stuff. So overall, I'd say that's a success. So thanks for joining me. Looking forward to the next mission with you guys. As always, it's Rick and SX. Thanks for watching.